बताओ कहाँ के हो?
ओडिशा का हूँ।
स्वर्ग है बातू, हर तरफ पानी पानी, हवा की बड़ी कृपा है तुम सब हो।
हाँ कुछ ज़्यादा ही है।
आए जमाने में 4 अलग अलग दिशन से खुशबू लेके आती वो, अब ना जाने क्या हो गया उसको, जैसे बीमार हो गई हो।
Hi, today we have with us director Nila Madhab Panda. He's the director for Kadvi Hawa. The first question I want to ask you is, in this scenario where most people in power are not even admitting to climate change as an issue, how important is it to make a film like this? What kind of a role would a film like this play?
I did a documentary way back in 2006 when the first question raised about climate change, that is it happening, it is not happening. So that time also people did not agree that it is happening, and the warning came from there. As a storyteller, the warning came from there, and then I realized still people are not. So, environment issue, Paryavaran bole to I think it's limited to schools, it's limited to just a forest day or environment day. So to make every day conscious about climate, you need a film like this to break your emotion, to hit you hard, to talk about what's happening to the world today. And it's not so easy because our acceptance level on environment is very low. We do not accept things are changing. We take environment, we take this wind, we take everything for granted. So I think it is paying you back what you have done to the environment. So the film tells you a story. On 24th, when it will hit on the screen, it tells you a story that what you have done is wrong. It's time for you to get ready for worst.
You yourself are from Odisha, and Ranveer's character is based, is from Odisha, and you have depicted the flood situation and how it affects people. How much of that was first-hand experience, or from people you knew, or and experienced yourself?
Well, for me, the whole story is a first-hand experience. A, what I've seen in myself. B, what I've seen through my documentaries. And all over the world. The story, it is told in a way that it is not only India, it is happening all over the world. That change is captured in the film.
Okay. So how did Ranvir Shorey and Sanjai Mishra ji come on board for this film?
That is the most easiest thing, because since the story I began, I had these two people always in my mind to make the film happen, and both of them came on board because when I heard the story and when they know about my work, I think it was very easy to cast them.
You've constantly made films on, feature films based on certain topics, issues, social issues, with a certain social message, like with I Am Kalam and Jalpari. You touched upon child labor, you've touched upon water conservation, and these are all obviously, with water conservation, with Jalpari, it's like a branch of this issue itself. So what is it that, you've made several documentaries and you've always been drawn to these issues, but making these in feature film format and reaching out to people, do you think it's easier now to make these films and reach out to people?
No, it's never been easier, because what I talk is basic innocence of humanity. I talk about basic criteria to live in humanity. I talk about the standards of life, that I brings into cinema. Okay, and these are not very dramatic, over the top, mindless entertainment. My films are also entertaining. My films also make money. I make films which are basically stories. I create stories out of nothing. I Am Kalam is based on education. Jalpari is based on female pedicide. Bablu Happy is based on right to sex, which is right to sex is how important it is to use condoms. It talks about the HIV/AIDS and youth. Kaun Kitne Pani Mein talks about water scarcity. If you see, all these are related to a man or woman, human's body ecosystem. But we are ignorant. So I'm not here to teach you, but if you see, none of my films are preachy. I bring stories which gives you certain essence. I feel as an artist, as a storyteller, that I take the responsibility to bring that out to people. So sometimes it's so important to reflect yourself in the mirror, and we don't get time in this developing world. So when you watch a cinema, it gives you certain, because for me cinema gives me a lot of things. When I read a book, it gives me a lot of things. So I wanted to give that lot of things through that cinema. So which is why my films are more core to the reality, more core to what a human go through.
This film is based in a remote village in Chambal, but most of your audiences probably that's going to go and watch this is going to be a very urban. So how do you make them connect to a subject like that?
You eat food. And who is the base of your life? Is a farmer. We're not bothered about that. You don't have a technical kitchen. You have not created a machine yet to create rice, to create dal, to create vegetables. It is those farmers who, there is no replacement of a farmer. So you got to relate with them. How much ever urban you may be, you might be a fighter pilot in the space, or you might go to moon and Mars, but you need a farmer in your life. So you can't change that. They're the most important part of your life. So that tells you the story. How much urban you may be, whether you, or anybody, it is that farmer who gives you life.
Has it become easier to find a theatrical release for these films, like with you from your experience?
It's not easy, but my films certainly, the kind of interest I create, it is not been so difficult to get theatrical release.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.